So let's start, dear students. Let's start studying. So first of all, dear student, uh, wait a minute. So today we'll be going to start a new chapters of biology, and that is the cell, the fundamental unit of life. Okay. Actually, why we are studying this chapter, first of all, is that actually the cell is the basic fundamental unit of life, and the all living organism. Biology, in biology we usually studied about the living organism. Okay, that means biology is a subject where we study about the science that deal with the life life. Okay, so the all since all living organism, whether the plants or animals, okay, they are made up of cells. They are constituted of cells. We can say that if we consider an organism that is living, so that must be made up of cell. Okay, so since this cell is the basic fundamental of unit of life, so and we are studying biology, so this chapter is very much important because in everywhere except we will be going to study that like reproductions, life process, okay, in the higher classes. So the cell will be very important because the functions of cells, what different kinds of functions cell is going to perform, and different cell organelles are going to perform their functions. So we are going to study that one in detail. So this is very much important, this chapter, not for the examination point of view, but if we are studying the biology, this chapter is very much important. Okay, because the biology is a study of science or life science, and all living organisms are made up of cells. So cell we must study thoroughly and clearly, without any doubt, without any uh, confusions. Okay, so what initially I will say that the cell is made up of cell. We are saying that cell, what is cell? Okay, so there are the two types of cells, you knows very well, that are there is a prokaryotic cells, another one is the eukaryotic cells. Okay, there are the two types of cells we have. One is the prokaryotic cells, another one is the eukaryotic cells. So first of all, what does a cell constitute? Means what does a cell means? Cell, the in we can say that when Robert Hooke discovered the cell literally means, in Latin word it means little room. Little room. You are very much familiar that in jail, we say that in prison actually, okay, we find that they are the little rooms and we consider them as a cell number 1, cell number 2, cell number 3. So that is a similar, that when Robert Hood discovered this, he finds something somewhat similar to this one. Okay, this cork like structures, and he find that there's a little rooms. Okay, so he named this one as cell. He named this one as cell. So from there the cell name as a cell means simple little organ. Okay, so we have the two types of cell. One is the eukaryotic cells, another one is the prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic means after nucleus, and prokaryotic means before nucleus, or we can say the complete nucleus. Okay, eukaryotic cells. What does a cell constitute? The question is, what does a cell is made up of? Okay, so dear students, what in every cell we can say that if we are considering this is a cell, so what does it must have? So actually it must have three things. One is the cell membrane. The second one, this one is the cell membrane, whether it is a prokaryotic cell or a simple cell, or if I'm saying considering the cell. So what does it means? It means that it must have three things. Means a cell must have three things. One is the cell membrane, the outer membrane that separate the boundary. We can say that the cell and the outer word. Okay, and another one is that is the DNA. DNA means genetic material. We can say that genetic. DNA is not necessary. We can say the genetic material. Genetic material. Okay, and the third one is what does it mean? Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. What is the cytoplasm? This is the fluid-like structure. Okay, this is the fluid-like structure that is filled inside the cell membrane, is called the cytoplasm. Okay, so these three things, these three items, we can say that yeah, a cell must have these three things. Okay, one is the cell membrane, second one is genetic material, and third one is the cytoplasm. Okay, now the question arises here, dear students, why we are considering the cell as a basic fundamental unit of life? Why we are considering this cell as a basic fundamental unit of life? Do you have any idea?
Sir, because the organs and the tissues are made up of cells, the tissues are the cluster of cells.
Yeah. When a group of cells join together, they form a tissue.
Cells. If there are no cells, there's no life.
Okay. Anyone other? Is there any other student? Let me turn on my video. Is there any other student who? No. Okay.
The cells do all the function of our body organs.
Yeah, actually, uh, if I'm saying something is living, what is the essential conditions for a living cell is to be? Means, if I'm just saying that an object is living, okay, what does it mean? Do you think that it grows? Growth is an essential criteria to say whether something is alive or not. Growth. Is every living organism grow? No. You are very much familiar that the mountains, the height of the mountain rises, increases. Why? Because the trees on this one, okay, there's when they got dead, they deposit here and the layers increases. Then another trees come over this one, okay, they again deposited, and then the height of the means it takes thousands of years, means the height of the mountain is continuously increasing. We cannot say that growth isn't. If the height of the mountain is increasing, it means that growth is also, I mean, the mountain's growth is also increasing. When we can say the height of the mountain is increasing, it means that mountains are also increasing. So growth cannot be considered an essential criteria to say whether something is alive or not. Okay. Second thing is that reproduction. Reproduction is not also considered as an essential criteria to say whether something is alive, because there are several couples who got married but they do not have kids. Okay, so we cannot consider that reproduction is enough. We cannot consider those couples as alive, sorry, as dead, because they are not reproducing, they are not having kids. Okay, so they are still alive. Okay. Third one, consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness means response to external stimulus, means a response to the external environment. Okay, for example, if somebody pins you, you will make your hand back. Okay, if you touch a hot plate, you will respond to that hot plate. Okay, you will remove your hand back. Okay, so this is a property of a living organism, but actually the consciousness will not considered as a living as a criteria to say whether something is alive or not, because some patient, those who are in coma, okay, reaches to such conditions that they are not able to respond. Even if you cut their hand, they will not be able to respond. Okay, if you if we can say that if the fire is around them, they will not be able to respond. So consciousness. So do we consider that the patient in the coma is dead? No, actually we are not considering. Your heart is still pumping the blood. Okay, so what is that criteria to say whether something is alive? Okay, so what is that criteria to decide whether something is alive or not? So this is simple, dear student, that hello Zoya, how are you? Are you fine?
Hello, sir.
Hello Zoya.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, beta. We are just studying the basic fundamental unit of life. Okay, so let's concentrate here. So the first thing is growth. Growth is not considered as an essential criteria to say whether something is alive. Reproduction is not also considered. Let me record this one so that if the student miss, I can send them their recording. Okay, so let me record this lecture. Wait a minute.
So the other day you said us that you'll make a group and then you'll sell all the classes recorded.
No. The recorded classes will not be sent. Only those students who are living, they are not attending the class, and if they need the backup, then during that time I can send that. Okay, but it is better that you should attend the live class. Live class means there are so many YouTube channels you can join that, but live class has some specific, we can say that, benefits. Okay, so the growth cannot be considered as essential criteria. Reproduction is not considered an essential criteria. Consciousness is also not considered as essential criteria to say whether something is alive or not. Okay, then the fourth one, there are so many criteria, but what is that criteria that we say that something is alive or not? Actually, that is nutrition. Nutrition means every living organism need food for its for performing their various metabolic activities. Okay. Nutrition means if a patient is in coma, he still needs a food. Why? Because their metabolic activity, there are certain functions that are taking place inside their bodies. So for proper functioning of these functions, that these metabolic activities, we need food. Okay. So nutrition means intake of food. Intake of food. Okay. And the second one is respiration. Respiration means uses of oxygen to break down the food. Fourth one is the transport. Third one is the transportation means distributions of something from one place to another place. And the sixth one is fourth one is excretion, removal of waste product. Okay. So we see these things as in a higher organism. Okay. And higher organism, we are saying that the nutrition is done by the human beings. Okay. Respiration is also done by the human beings. Transportation is also done by the human beings. And second one is excretions. Now come to the cell. Do the cell required food? Yes, the cell required food. Actually, there is a mitochondria. This one is the mitochondria. And it is still performing. We can say that it is the main powerhouse of the cell that is generating the energy after breaking down of glucose. Okay. So glucose is being what if we eat the glucose? We eat the food. We eat the glucose. We eat the carbohydrate, and it is after digestion. The carbohydrate converted into glucose. Okay. Glucose, and these glucose reaches to this region, and here it is broken down, and the cell perform different activities for their functions, for their proper functioning. Okay. So means the nutrition means the food is still required by the food. Do the single cell respire? Yes, a single cell also respire. It need oxygens. We need this. Actually, the oxygen we inhale. Okay, we inhale oxygen. It reaches to the cell, to every cell of our body except the dead cells. Okay, like the hairs and the nails. Okay, except the dead cells, the oxygen reaches to every part of our body, every cell of our body. Okay, why it is reaching? Actually, and it will reaches to the mitochondria for the complete oxidation of food. Okay. So oxygen is being inhaled. We take the oxygen, and this mitochondria uses this oxygen, and then it converted it to CO2. The CO2 comes back. And the water, H2O, water, and the energy is produced. That is being used for different metabolic activities. And the third one is the transportation. Do the transportation, as we know that in our body, if we eat food and this is being transported to different part of our body with the help of blood. Actually, do the transportation is done inside the cell? Yes, the Golgi bodies and the endoplasmic reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for the transport. Actually, the Golgi bodies are actually the traffic controller of the cell, we can say that. Okay, so the Golgi bodies and endoplasmic, they have their different functions also, but they also help in the transportations of substance from one place to another place. And the fourth one is the excretion, means the removal of waste product. Yes, the vacuoles plays an important role. Vacuoles present an important role in the removal of waste product from the body. Okay. Now they come to the point. Do the cell reproduce? No, the every cell do not reproduce. Like we can say that the nerve cell. Okay. Neuron, the nerve cell, we can say that is responsible for the transmissions of signal from brain to different part of our body. Transmission of signals from brain to different part of our body, so this never divides. So do you think that what we consider the essential criteria to say whether something is alive or not, that all functions are performed by the single cell also? Moreover, all the metabolic activities, all the we can say that the oxidation of food. Okay. We can say that removal of waste products and many other things. These are also means, if we say that excretion is done by kidney. We say that excretion for the removal of waste product, kidney is responsible for that. But they are a specialized cell present in the kidney. They are the specialized cell present in the kidney that are called the that are called the nephron, that are called the nephron, and they are being responsible for that, for the excretion, for the removal of waste product, for the removal of waste product. So these are the nephron that are, we can say that these are the functional unit of kidney. Actually, these are the cell. A single kidney have approximately 1.2 million nephron. A single kidney has like approximately 12 lakh or 1.2 million nephron. And this is responsible, these cells are responsible for the removal of waste product from our body. So actually all the metabolic activities that are taking place inside our body, okay, inside our body. And secondly, the cell, a single cell perform all those functions individually which a living organism perform. Okay, so that's why we consider that cell is a basic fundamental unit of life. Moreover, a single cell can live alone independently without depending on the other substances. It can live independently. For example, we have examples of like we have the example of amoeba. Okay, this is amoeba and this is amoeba. Okay, amoeba, a single cell amoeba, it is a single cellular organism, and it can perform all those activities and has a capability to live individually. It can perform all the functions which a single with a multicellular organism perform. A single cell can perform all those functions. So that's why we consider that cell is a basic fundamental unit of life. Do you understand why cell is considered as a basic fundamental unit of life?
Yes, sir.
Or you are still having some doubts, some problems regarding to this point, why cell is known as a basic fundamental unit of life?
Sir, I have in doubt. Is vacuoles are present in animal cell also?
Yeah, they are present, but in very less amount. In plant cell, they are present in large vacuoles are present in the plant cell, but in animal cells, they are usually absent or have very small, in very small numbers. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is an animal cell. So let's start. So let me write why cell is a basic fundamental unit of life. Okay. Why cell is considered as basic fundamental unit of life. Okay. So here is our answer. Cell is considered as basic fundamental unit of life because due to the following reasons. First one is all the metabolic activities, all the metabolic activities takes place inside the cell. For example, respiration. Second one is excretion. Etc. The second one is all the metabolic activities take place inside the cell. Moreover, second one is a cell is capable of performing. A cell is capable of performing all those activities all laptop is all capable of performing all those activities which which a living organism perform without depending others, such as nutrition, nutrition, respiration, excretion, transportation, excretion, transportation, excretion, excretion. Okay, so these are the activities that are performed by the cell individually. That's why we consider them as a basic fundamental unit of life. Okay, so note down this one, please. Why cell is considered as a basic fundamental unit of life? Done? When you're done, please let me know.
So yes.
Is there anyone
Yes,
still
sir.
write? Is there anyone still writing? Is there anyone, beta, who is still writing? Let me check what is.
Done.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, what I have written this one, that actually I have to use this F8. Okay. So dear students, let's move further for the next topic. Okay, that is the discovery of cell. Discovery of cell. How does the cell means? We can say that discovery of cell takes place. Okay, discovery of cell. Okay, actually, you know very well that the cell was, who discovered the cell?
Sir,
Who discovered?
Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke.
Yeah, everyone will say that
Say
Robert has
Robert
discovered.
Hooke.
Yeah. Is there anyone who is saying, who is having some different view,
Sir,
different opinion? Yeah, we know that Robert who discovered the cell. We all know that Robert who discovered the cell actually. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Actually, dear student, Robert Hooke did not discover the cell. You think so? We are very much familiar that the Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Okay, but actually, dear student, Robert Hooke did not discover the cell. Who discovered the cell? Robert Hooke actually discovered the cell wall. Cell wall. Cell wall was discovered. What is a cell? I told you the cell is composed. A cell means it must have a cell membrane. A cell membrane. Okay. Second thing, it must have the cytoplasm inside this one. Inside this one. This one is the cytoplasm of the cell, and it must have the cytoplasm. So this one is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm of the cell. And the third one is the genetic material, the DNA. Okay. So DNA. So this is the definition for the cell. A cell must have these three things. But actually what he saw in his experiment was that he only saw the wall, the outer membrane, the cork like structure. We can say that you can see this image, if this is clearly visible to you. So he saw this was the microscope of Robert Hooke. A scope of Robert Hooke. Okay, this was a microscope of Robert Hooke, and he saw this a cork, but he did not see anything inside this one. He did not see the protoplasm. What is protoplasm? Protoplasm is whatever inside. It means whatever the cell is containing inside the cell wall. Sorry, cell membrane. Okay, so that is called the cell wall. That is called the protoplasm. So actually, he did not discover the cell, but we have the Google, we have the internet, and there are so many theories that say that cell was not discovered by him. Actually, he discovered the cell wall, the outer cell, the outer structure of the cell. But let it be. We will start since it is written in our NCERT book, so we should follow that one. But actually, the cell wall was discovered by him. He did not see anything. That's why there is another scientist named Anton Leeuwenhoek who discovered the cell. So in 1665.
So I discovered it in cheek cells.
Yeah. In 1665, the Robert Hooke discovered.
The cell, can you repeat it?
What actually the discovery of the cell?
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm saying that dear student, that the cell, what a cell is consist of. I have told you initially that a cell must have three things. If I'm considering this is a cell, so cell must have three things. What does it must have? The first one is that it must have the, wait a minute, it must have the cell membrane. Second one is the genetic material, and third one is the cytoplasm. These three things a cell must have, whether it is a prokaryotic cell or a eukaryotic cell. If I'm talking about this one, is that there are the two types of cells we have. One is the eukaryotic cells, another one is the prokaryotic cells. So if any one of them, if I am talking about the prokaryotic or the eukaryotic, they both must have the three things similar. And moreover, there is also another thing, that is ribosome, that is a cell organelle. But the three things must be possible, must be there. If there is no cytoplasm, if there is no we can say the genetic material present, we cannot consider it as cell. So you can see this is the prokaryotic cells. Still it is having the genetic material, that is DNA. Okay, and it is still having the cytoplasm, the cytoplasm, and the fourth one is it is still having the cell wall. Sorry, cell membrane. Cell wall, I'm not saying cell wall, it is cell membrane. Okay, cell wall is only present in the plant cell. So this is a cell wall, sorry, cell membrane. Okay, so these three things are still present. So look at this, is the eukaryotic cell. It is still having the cell membrane, the genetic material which is present inside the nucleus. You can say that this one is a dividing cell, so we can have this one is DNA, and another one is the cytoplasm. This one is the cytoplasm of the cell. So cytoplasm of the cell is this one, cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, so dear student, you must understood here that that these three things are very important for we can say that if we are saying that this is a cell, so these three things are very much important. Okay, so you must keep in mind, dear students, that in the when Robert Hooke in 1665 discovered the cell, actually the nucleus was not discovered during that time. Sometimes after this one, the cell was not discovered by him. Okay. Okay, so he discovered the cells. But actually in our book it is being written that this in NCERT, actually there are so many errors in NCERT. Okay, since in NCERT it is being written that the Robert who discovered the cell, let it be. Okay, next we shall move further, dear students. So in 1665 he discovered the cell. Okay, and after that, after some times, the nucleus was discovered, and he discovered, actually Robert Hooke discovered this cell by using his own made microscope. This microscope was made by him, and he self, we can say that he self discovered, we have made this cell, he self designed this one. So this is his self design microscope that was made by the Robert Hooke. Okay, and he published this things, means actually during that times, he, whatever you are going to have, if you find something, if you discovered something, if you research something, you have to publish that one in some books. So he published this one in his book named as Micrographia. That was a book in which he published. He published this one, the book. Okay, this was the Micrographia, and it was in 1665. Okay, the same year. So dear students, after the Robert Hooke, Anton Leeuwenhoek was another scientist. This is Anton Leeuwenhoek. Anton Okay, Anton Leeuwenhoek discovered another microscope. It was made by him. Okay, this is an advanced version of the microscope that, and he used to see everything. He used to see everything. He used to see the something from his mouth. He used to see something from his tongue. He used to see his ears. Everything that he find. Even he used to see his shoes. Everything he find. He used to see from this in this microscope. Okay, so this was a microscope made by the Anton Leeuwenhoek, and actually he find the first living cell. Anton Leeuwenhoek in 1974 discovered the first living cell, okay, the first living cell. So first of all, if someone asks you who discovered the cell, so actually the cork was discovered in the cork, and the cork was, we can say that cork was not a living cell. Okay, so actually the Robert Hooke, if we say that Robert Hooke has discovered the cell, so he discovered the dead cell, because cork is dead cell. Okay, he discovered the dead cell. And if it is being asked in examinations that who discovered the first living cell, who discovered the bacteria, actually he discovered the bacteria, and he named his animalcules, means small animals, because he finds something that the bacteria are moving like this in the pond water. So he named this animalcules, like, okay, animalcules means small little animals. Okay, so do you got it? You got it? So he was a, and the most funny thing is that he used to see everything in his microscope, which he discovered. Okay, so sorry, he invented, or he made self-made. Okay, so this is in 1974 he discovered the first living cell from the pond water. Or what he discovered, the first living cell was the bacteria. In today's term we call it bacteria. Okay, bacteria, but he named his animalcules. Animalcules means little animals. Do you still is my voice clearly audible to you? Are you or are you having some problems?
Sir, voice is clear.
Voice is clear
The
to
voice is
everyone.
clear.
Voice is
Yes,
clear
sir.
to everyone. Okay, do you understood what I have said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so he named it animalcules. Okay, so dear student, let's move further. Okay, so after the discovery of the cells, and later the new parts of the cells were discovered, and these were the we can say that these were the different parts of the cells. That is the nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. Okay, in 1831. So after so many years, the nucleus was discovered after the discovery of a specialized microscope from which we are able to see, okay, the things. So this was the 1964 in, sorry, it is 1664, but I have written here 1964. It is 1674. Okay, so 1674. In 1831, okay, we can say that the Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. Okay, so copy this information first, and then we shall be moving to further. This little, make the little notes that micrographia was the name of the book in which he published. Robert Hooke published his work, Cell. When you're done, please let me know. Okay.
Sir, done.
Sir, done.
Okay. And after this one, in 1839, okay, after the 7 years, scientist named Purkunji, okay, he discovered in a term, the term protoplasm was discovered, was raised, yeah, coined, we can say, was coined. Okay, what does the word protoplasm means? Protoplasm means the cell material, the cell organelle plus the cell organelle, like we have the cell organelle like the ribosomes, mitochondria, nucleus, everything that is present in the cytoplasm of the cells. Okay, so what does the term protoplasm means? Actually, this is the cytoplasm plus cell organelle. Okay, so we consider them as a, okay, have you written this one, copied this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, dear students, let's move further. As we know that the size of the cell was very small. As you know that this one is the height. We can say that the height of an adult female. Okay, that is 1 meter approximately. We say that the ostrich egg is a single egg which is approximately 100 mm. Okay, and we can say that this is approximately we can say that a 10 centimeter approximate, and this is the size of an ostrich egg. Then there's a chicken egg. This is also a single cell, and this is the largest cell we have, largest single cell in our we have. Okay, so actually the cells are very small, and their size is approximately the size of the cells is very small, and it is approximately, for the prokaryotic cells, it is from 10 nanometer to 100 nanometer. Okay, and that of in eukaryotic cells, that is approximately, dear student, that is approximately 100, we can have the 100 micrometer to 500 micrometer. So we will discuss them later. The size of the cell is, we cannot say that the size of the cell is very small as comparison to atoms are the very small. We cannot say that the size of the bacteria is in micrometer means 10 raised to the power minus 6, 10 raised to the power minus 6, 10 raised to the power minus 6 means the micrometer. Okay, so bacteria and the viruses are smaller, this one, and they are in the 100 nanometer. Okay, the size of them are, viruses are very small as comparison to the cells and bacterias. Okay, the plant cells are plant cell and animal cells are also we can say that they are bigger in size as comparison to the bacteria and the other cells. Okay, so dear students, you need to understood here that the size of the cell is so small that we cannot see it with the help of we cannot see it with naked eyes. Okay, but we can see it with the help of light microscope. Okay, but the size of the atom is very small that we cannot even see it with the help of light microscope. Even we need a very high quality microscope, that is electron microscope. Okay, that we will discuss it later. Okay, so let's move further and let's move to the cell theory. Okay, cell theory. What is cell theory? Cell theory. What is this one? Let me change the color. Cell theory, what is, okay, so dear students, let's move further. So according to cell theory, color still did not change. Cell theory. Cell theory consists of four types, four statements. Actually, there are different scientists that say different statement regarding to the cell theory. Okay, let's consider them, each of them. Okay, so what do you mean by the cell theory? Do you have any idea? Cell theory is given by the four different scientists. We can say that and three of them are very important. Okay, so first of all, that the all cells are made up of, we can say that all living organisms are made up of cell, and cell is a basic fundamental unit of life. Okay, that is the first statement of cell theory. Means the cell is the basic fundamental mental basic fundamental unit of life. Okay, and this statement, why this statement is correct? Since why we are saying, because all the metabolic activities take place inside the cell. So we can write here, since all the metabolic activities takes place inside the cell. You got it? Got it, dear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the second point was given by the we can say there's a Mathias Sheldon. Okay, that he was a German, we can say that he was a German botanist, and he told that all plants are made up of cells. Means he was discovering that, and he find that when he was discovering the plants, and he was doing his studies regarding to the plants, so he find that all the plants are made up of cells. All the plants are made up of cell, and he said this statement in 1838. Okay, 1838 when he said this one. And another statement was given by this one, that is by the Theodore Schwann. He is another scientist, that is Theodore Schwann, and he said that all the animals are made up of cell. Okay, so since there are the two categories we have, one in all the living organism that we consider on earth, we can broadly classify these two into two categories. One is the plants and another one is the animals. Means we can categorize all the living organism in our on this earth broadly into two categories. One is the plants, another one is the animals. Either the living organism may be the animals, another one is maybe the what, the plants, animals or plants. So these two statements, and this was given in 1839, and these two statement was compiled, and a single statement was made that all living organism are made up of cell. Okay, means the statement of Mathias Sheldon and Theodore Schwann, these two statements, the other statement, the one he said that all plants are made up of cells, another one means Theodore Schwann, that all animals are made up of cells. So these two statements are combined and converted into a single statement that all living organisms are made up of cell. But now the another statement, that is the Rudolf Virchow in 1855 give another statement that is that all cells are made up of pre-existing cells. Existing cell means omnis, his statement that omnis cellula acellula. he called this statement that omnis cellula a cellula means the cells, means the all cells are made up of pre-existing cells. Means he said that no cell can be produced if there is no cell. Means if I'm saying that for the first cell, if I'm going to have a cell, means there must be another cell from which it has been bought. Yeah, we can say that the it has been arised. So if we are having a cell, there must be a pre-existing cells from which it arises. And he does an experiment to show this one. Actually he was not able to prove this one, but this was added, and the theoretical proof and the experimental proof of this cell was given by the another scientist, that is Louis Pasteur, and his then Louis Pasteur was his student, I think so. Okay, and the Louis Pasteur prove this statement that the every cell, means we can say that every cell is made up of pre-existing cell. Yeah, we can say that all cell are made up of pre-existing cell. We can say that, yeah, we can say the statement that every cell is made up of pre-existing cells. Okay, so if we are considering that all the cells, if we consider any cells, like if we take the RBC, WBC, there are different kinds of cells. In kidney there are different types of cells, that is nephron, and in plant cell there are different types of cells. Means if the cell is present today and it is alive, we say that there must be their parent, there must be some other cell from which it has been arised. Do you understood or having some doubt regarding to this one?
No, sir, no doubts.
So who gave the first cell theory?
Who gave the first cell theory? That is that the cell is basic fundamental unit of life, and all the cells. That is a statement that is being added by the group of scientists. Okay, that do not have a particular name. That is, but since we have the picture here of Robert Hooke, because Robert Hooke was the first one who discovered the cell, as the according to the scientist, according to the different books. But actually, until Leeuwenhoek was the first one who discovered the cell. So living cell actually. So let's move further, dear students, and let's explain this. How does Robert Virtue's statement that it's the omnis cellula est cellula was proved by the Louis Pasteur? Actually, you are very much familiar. If you just think, I'm going to give you an example. Just think from where the first life arises. So let's talk about this one, and let's elaborate this one. That since we have a lot of time and we want our student to be brilliant, and we want them to enhance their minds, just use their minds. We don't want them to be bookish, like they every time they are reading something, they are learning something. No, we want them to think. Just think from where the first cell has arises. Do you have any idea? Do you think from where the first life has arises? We see that the blue-green algae is responsible. We see that the blue-green algae was the first one from where the first life arises. Blue-green algae, blue-green algae, blue-green algae, that is cyanobacteria. Okay, from where the we consider this is the first living organism on the earth. Okay, actually there are different theories. I'm going to give you a short description for them. Okay, first one is the theory of panspermia. What does this theory say? According to this theory, there are the certain, we can say that there are certain group of peoples that used to live in the we can say that the Greek. There are certain Greeks, ancient Greeks. Okay, we can say the ancient Greek believe that God has given a bag. Yeah, means we can say that there is a bag of all the living creatures having their seeds in them, and they are being thrown on the earth everywhere, and that's they started growing there. Just imagine that a seed of mango, a seed of apple, a seed of we can say the different types of trees, and we can say the eggs of hen, eggs of ostrich, eggs of some other organisms. So they one pairs has been sent to this earth, and the life started from this one. The ancient Greek believed this one, but this theory was rejected because they do not have any we cannot say that it do not have any proof. Okay, then the other theory comes that we said that the theory of biogenesis. theory of biogenesis. Another one is the theory of spontaneous generation. Theory of spontaneous generation. Theory of biogenesis simply said that the first life arises from the first first organic material, like the straw. We can say that the first life arises from the organic material, some organic material. Organic material simply means that organic material means the material that has been produced from a living source, living organism, like we can say that plants, straw, leaf, a dead leaf. Okay, so it might be necessary that some we can say that it is not necessary that the first life arises from the organic materials. Okay, so actually we are just discovering about the first life, and we are saying that it has been arises from the organic material, and organic material means some living organism. So where does the first living organism arises? Means if I'm saying that the life can arises from this leaf. A leaf can, we can say that a leaf can, and we have several, we can say that there are so many examples, that if you have an apple, okay, and if you keep it in the bucket, okay, for some times, okay, then this apple start destroying, or we can say that it start roasting, decaying. Okay, and after some time you will find that there are so many small bacterium will be there, so many the life will arises from them. Even if you have a dry leaf, and you put it in a bucket, and provide some amount of water to it, then it will, after some time you will say that the leaf get decomposed, and you will find that there are some bacteria, some life arises from this one. And instead of leaf, if you put a plastic substance, if you put a, like if you have a water bottle, if you put some plastic bottle in the bucket and you add some water, there will be no life will arises from that water bottle. So this means that the substance that are naturally obtained, that are like leaf, apples, okay, any fruit, piece of flesh, anything that arises from the, that we have, that have an origin of living organism, can have we can mean say that if it is dead, still a life can arises from that one. Okay, bacteria can grows from that one. But if you put a water bottle in a bucket of a plastic substance or a non-living object that do not have a living origin, so we can say that the life do not arises from that one. Are you getting my point, what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? So here the statement itself contradicts. That I am saying that the life arises. Just suppose if a life arises from the leaf, a dead leaf. So where does that dead leaf come from? Dead leaf should come from a living tree. And where does the living tree come from? So this theory was not able to explain more. The next theory comes, that is the theory of spontaneous generation. Theory of spontaneous generation said that theory of spontaneous generation was given, and it was explained by the Louis Pasteur. Okay, the theory of spontaneous generation said that the cell arises from the pre-existing cells. Means a cell must have its origin from the pre-existing cell, and an experiment was done by that scientist, and he put some substance, some killed microbes in an airtight container. He first boiled this one in an airtight container, and he took 2 times and 2 container. Okay, once he put once he in a one container, he boiled the water or something substance inside it, so that there may be no oxygen present. He boiled it. Okay, he boiled it, this one, and okay, and put some killed microbes in it, pulled killed microbes, and this is airtight from this one. Means no air should enter into this substance or in this container. Okay, and these are the killed microbes are present. Killed microbes are present. And other, he put the same, and he did not boil, so that the dissolved oxygen is present in the dissolved oxygen is still present. Okay, so here the dissolved oxygen is present. So since there is we can say that in the here the killed microbes are present, and here he again put the killed microbes, and he did not boil this container because if he heat it, the dissolved oxygen will get out, and he did not keep it airtight, and he put this for some couple of days, and he find that the killed microbes present in this container they start reproducing, and there is a life has been started from this one. So he find that he consider this one that the first life arises from this one. And the first life means for initiative of life means if there is no killed microbes, there will be no another living microbes. Means since there is a already, we can say that there is already microbes are present, some group of microbes are present, whether it is dead, don't think dead, but they are still present. So we can say that the cell, the new cell arises, new cell or new cell arises from pre-existing cell, pre-existing cell. You got it? Or still having some doubt? Means in the first, Louis Pasteur in the first statement, he said that in the first container he boiled the containers, the substance that is present in the container, so that the dissolved oxygen is not present, and he make the container airtight and add some killed microbes to it. Okay, and he find that there is no, means in this container no life arises, no new cells arises, no new cell, no living cell arises, no living cell arises. Okay, and in this one he find that living cell arises from dead cell, from dead microbes. Okay, so this was, we can consider that this theory of spontaneous generation, and this was a proof, actually the last statement of the Robert Virchow, and this last statement of the cell theory, that was the cell arises from the pre-existing cells. Okay, and later on there was so many things comes that that if the pre-existing cells is there, there is already a pre-existing cell, then where does the first pre-existing cell comes? There was still a question that, and this theory was given, this explanation was given by theory of chemical evolution, theory of chemical evolution. From where does this first, we are saying that the first cell arises from the pre-existing cell, means if there is a cell, there must be a pre-existing cell, and for that pre-existing cell there must be another pre-existing cell, and for that pre-existing cell there must be another pre-existing cell. So if we go and go on and we reaches to the first cell, where does the first cell come from? So there was another experiment done by the other scientists, and they proved that the first cells come from the inorganic substances, and that we will discuss in some other classes. No need to discuss all today's only. Okay, so theory of chemical evolution we will discuss in some other classes. Okay, so till now, have you cleared that what is the theory of theory of spontaneous generation, or the pre-existing cell theory that was given by Robert Virchow? Have you have you cleared this point,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
or still having some doubt
Yes, sir.
regarding to the Robert Virchow statement that the all cells are made up of pre-existing cells?
So no, sir, no doubts.
No, sir.
Okay, so this was given by the three different scientists. This is a cell theory. Please write down the statement of these cell theory. Write down the statement of cell theory. And the fourth statement was also there, that the all cells start their life from the single cell. All organism, whether the multicellular or the unicellular, means it means unicellular. If I'm saying unicellular, so all organism start their life from single cell. And viruses, actually, here is a terms and condition that viruses are exception to cell theory. Viruses are exceptions to cell theory. Okay, we do not consider viruses in the cell theory. Okay. Right here, click here. Every cell is made up of, make a little bit correction, every cell, it will be more appropriate, every cell is made up of pre-existing cell, that is omnis cellula cell. Okay. So in today's, when you're done, please let me know. Okay,
Sir,
Done.
everyone.
yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so actually what we studied today is that, dear student, let me revise it first, that what is the essential condition required for the cell. Means this is that if we are considering a cell, the cell must have three things. One is the cell membrane, second one is the genetic material like DNA, and the third one is the cytoplasm. And another cell organelle that is commonly present in both the cells, the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes, is the ribosomes. But we are only writing three things here. If the fourth one is also, then we can write here the ribosomes. Okay. Moreover, why we consider the cell as a basic fundamental unit of life? Because cell alone can perform all those activities which a living organism must do in order to say whether it is alive or not. For example, every living organism perform nutrition, means every living organism need food. So cell also need food, and here we have a specialized cell organelle, that is mitochondria, that is responsible for producing energy for performing different metabolic activities taking place inside the cell. Secondly, the cell need oxygen. Yes, the cell need oxygen. Respirations, every living organism respires, whether it is it have the aerobic respiration, means need the oxygen for the need the oxygen, or some organism do not require oxygen, but respiration is still there, means they respire. Okay, means the food is broken down, so here the oxygen is taken by the mitochondria and the carbon dioxide is being released, and the water and the energy produced is used by the cell. Third one is transportation. Normally we see that the blood is used in the transportations of a living organism. Here in the cellular level, we see that the Golgi bodies and the endoplasmic reticulums are responsible for the transportations. They also perform different functions also, but they also help in the transportations of substances from one place to another place, another part of the cell. Okay, and the fourth one is the excretion, the removal of waste product from the cell. Every cell requires removal of waste product from this from there. There are certain toxic substance that is made inside the cell, and that's why the important substances are get inside the cells, and the harmful substances are removed from the cell. So similarly, the excretion is done by a living organism, that is a higher organism, that is performed by the kidney. So since all these activities that a single means a living organism perform, that are also performed by the cell, means that are also done by the cellular level. Okay. Moreover, we say that all the living organisms, all the biochemical activities take place inside the cell. For example, respirations, means broken down of food. Where does the broken down of food take place? It is not done in the stomach. It is being digested, but the broken down of food to produce energy, it is done inside the mitochondria of the cell. Okay, so that means the biochemical activities take place inside the cell. Similarly, we see that kidney is responsible for the removal of waste product in our body, but we see that there are different types. There are a number of millions of specialized cell present, like approximately 12 lakh in one kidney is present inside the kidney, and these cells are responsible for the urine formation, or we can say the removal of waste product from our body. So since these are done by the cells, So we can say that these cells are the basic fundamental unit of life, and we have written here that why the cell is a basic fundamental. Cell is considered as a basic fundamental unit of life due to the following reason. One is all the metabolic activities taken inside the cell, for example, respiration, excretion, transportation, you can say nutrition, okay, everything. And second one is that a cell is capable of performing all activities which a living organism perform without depending on others. Means without depending the external environment, without depending others, a cell is capable of performing all those activities, for example, nutrition, respiration, transportation, etc. So all these activities are able to perform by the cell. Secondly, who discovered the cell? I have told you in 1665 Robert Hooke discovered the cell, and actually he discovered the cell wall. Actually, I can write here, actually he discovered the cell wall, dead the outer membrane of the cork. Okay, he did not discover anything inside the cell, because we know the cell has three main I've given you example of this one. There are the eukaryotic cells and the prokaryotic cells, and these eukaryotic cells have three things in common. One is the DNA cell membrane, DNA, and the cytoplasm. They have the three things in common. And moreover, yeah, do you have any doubt?
So what is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells?
Actually, the prokaryotic cells are the simple cells. They do not have cell membrane bonded organelles. We will discuss this in the next class in details. Actually, today the first class, so all the time goes in the introductions. Okay, so actually there are so many differences. They do not have membrane bonded cell organelle like this one. This one is the membrane bonded cell organelle present here. There the Golgi bodies are present here. Okay, have you seen that? Have you seen? We can say that the what we called in English chutney. Chutney means some syrup, some liquid substance that we used. Means not in a liquid; it is a solution-like substance that we used. Sauce, like sauce. If you eat the
Pickle.
ketchup, yeah, ketchup. Okay, ketchup like substance. So if you taste that, you can feel that there is tomatoes present in that. Okay, there is salt present in that. Actually the organelles are present. Actually, if I'm saying that, if I'm saying here is a circle, here it is circle, do you see that here is a circle? You cannot say that no, there is not circle, because there is no boundary. There is no boundary present. Boundary make the things clear. If you think that, if you see that there is a window in your room, so window is visible only because it is going to have its boundary. You can say that this is the window, this is the window, because you can see that's boundary, it's boundary. So things that are having boundary, they are visible to us, but there are something present, because a cell cannot alive without mitochondria, without performing, without producing energy, without Golgi bodies. But they are present, but they are membraneless. They are present, but they are membraneless. So if they are membraneless, they are not visible to us. So we can say that these are absent. But actually, since why we are saying that these are absent, because there is no boundary, there is no membrane bonded organelles are present. Okay, in the prokaryotic cells. Okay, you can say that in a sauce the tomatoes are present. But if I said to you, pick up a tomato, can you pick up that tomato? No, you cannot pick up the tomato. Why? Because there is no tomatoes present in that. It is a syrup of that one present. Okay, we have crushed that tomatoes and their taste is present. The taste of the tomatoes is present in this sauce or ketchup, but actually the real tomatoes are not present. You cannot pick up the tomatoes in that one. So similarly, the organelles are present, but since their boundaries are not present, their boundary is not there. We can say that they are absent or missing. We cannot pick up the Golgi bodies. We cannot say their Golgi bodies is present here. We cannot say their endoplasmic reticulum is present here. Okay, so in the prokaryotic cells, since the organelles do not have its boundary, in fact, nucleus do not have its boundary. Since the nucleus do not have its boundary, its genetic material is surrounded everywhere. This is the DNA of the prokaryotic cell. It is genetic material. In eukaryotic cells, the genetic material is present inside the nucleus. But in we can say that in the prokaryotic cell, it is scattered everywhere. It is scattered like this one. It is scattered everywhere. So since the DNA is scattered everywhere, no membrane bonded organelles are present. Only the ribosomes. You are able to see these dots. Are you able to see these dots? These small dots. Are you able to see them? So these are the ribosomes. The ribosomes which are responsible for the synthesis of protein. So ribosomes are present in the prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells, and except the ribosomes, actually ribosomes are still membraneless. We consider them as membraneless bonded organelle, and that's we will discuss in the next class when we will be going to discuss the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells in great detail. So, and what's the functions of prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells, and which kinds of organism have the prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells. So it's a topic of the next class. Okay, so my here 1 marks question arises from this one. 1 marks question arises from this one. In which book and in which years? 1965 में Robert Hooke discovered the cell, or we can say the cell membrane. Okay, and he published his book in a book named as Micrographia. Okay, and the third one is the in 1674. In 1674, the Anton Leeuwenhoek discovered the cell. Okay, so the living cell was discovered by Anton Leeuwenhoek. Okay, and with his self-composed microscope, a self-designed microscope. In 1831, Robert Hooke discovered the cell, and Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. In 1839, the term protoplasm was coined by the scientist Prukunji, and protoplasm means the cytoplasm plus cell organelle. Okay, so these were the next one is we have discovered this one, this is a cell, and later we have discovered about the cell theory that all cells are made up of, all cells have a the cells is a basic fundamental unit of life, since all the metabolic activities take place inside the cell. This is the first statement. The second statement was this one: all plants are made up of cells, all animals are made up of cells, and these two are combined together, and a single statement was made, that is all living organisms are made up of cell. And later another statement was added to the cell theory in 1855 by Robert Virchow, that every cell is made up of pre-existing cell, omnis cellula is cellula. And the last statement was also added, that is all organisms start their life from a single cell, and viruses are exception to these theories. And here I explain you how does the first life arises. You said that the theory of panspermia, but that was rejected. Theory of biogenesis was also rejected because he was saying the first organic materials, and like a straw, where does the straw come from? Okay, and it was also rejected actually. It is not rejected, means we were not coming to the conclusion that from where the first cell arises. So spontaneous theory of spontaneous generation tell us that the new cell arises from the pre-existing cell, and from where that pre-existing cells come from. That theory, that explanation was given by this theory, that is the theory of chemical evolution, and this is widely accepted theory of chemical evolution. And I will discuss this theory of chemical evolution in some other classes. If you said that you want to explain, you need to learn, you want to have the knowledge from where the first cell arises, because we are studying about the cell, so we must know about the cell, that from where the first cell comes. If we are saying that we all organisms are made up of cell, we all organisms are made up of cell, every living organism are made up of cell, so where does the first cell come from? We must know, we must have that knowledge. Okay, it's about knowledge that we must know. We should not be bookish, we should not be like this, we are just learning. No, just increase your knowledge. It will make your studies easier and more comfortable and more enjoying. Okay, okay, so that's all for today, dear students. If you are having some doubt regarding to any topic that I teach today, so you can ask. If you are having any doubt regarding to the topic that I have, you can ask.
No, sir, no doubts.
No,
No
sir, no
doubt.
doubt.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Oh, let me ask by using names, because I love calling my students with their names. Okay. Hamna, don't have any doubt?
No, sir.
Madrula?
No, sir.
Miradullah, sorry, Miradullah. I'm sorry for the wrong pronunciation. Veer? Veer? You have any
No.
doubt?
No, sir.
No.